All right, so the World Cup is approaching, obviously, and there's been a lot of speculation in terms of who's going to be able to get into the United States, and what the procedure will be for ticket holders of the World Cup, and what their process will be to try and get tourist visas and permission to travel to the United States. So the Department of State recently announced that they have set up a priority appointment scheduling uh, system. Okay, so they're calling it FIFA Pass. Essentially, this is going to allow World Cup ticket holders to get priority appointments so that they can get to the United States in time. So if someone already has tickets that they purchased through FIFA, and they are applying to get a tourist visa, they can use this program so that they don't end up with an appointment in July or something like that. So you need to have proof that you've purchased the ticket, okay? So that would be an email issued by FIFA. You still need to fill out the DS-160, which is the non-immigrant visa application. So you would still fill that out. Another thing to keep in mind is that the rules around who gets a tourist visa are still the same. So you still need to be able to show that you have sufficient ties to your home country that convinces the Department of State that you will return to your home country when your visit is over. So that can be, proof of property ownership, employment in your home country. You also need to show that you have sufficient funds to support yourself while you're in the United States. So hotel itinerary, rental car possibly, those types of things, and possibly, enough money in your bank account to pay for your trip. So they're still going to be looking at all of these things. It's not that, oh, I've got tickets, therefore you should give me a tourist visa. You still have to prove that you will be returning to your home country. Definitely book a round trip ticket. Don't have an open-ended ticket. I think that could be potentially problematic. Another issue that has come up is the bond situation. So the current administration has instituted a bond requirement for certain visas if you are from certain countries. So there's a list of these countries. You can look those up on who needs to be able to post a bond. And what that bond does is you will be asked to pay the bond before coming to the United States. It could be $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, and you would get that back when you leave the United States. So that doesn't apply to every country. It's just certain countries. But I know that at least 4 or 5 of the countries that have qualified for the World Cup are on that bond, that visa bond list. Okay, so that's another thing you would still need to abide by. There are some exceptions to that bond rule. So players, soccer players for those national teams, their coaches, their immediate family, they can be bond exempt. All right, but fans and ticket holders from those countries that want to see their team play, if they're playing in the United States, not Canada or Mexico, they will likely still be required to post a bond. So the FIFA Pass system is not going to apply if you are from an ESTA or a visa waiver program country. Okay, so if you are an Italian citizen and from the UK, Spain, France, and you want to come to the United States to see a game, you don't need to worry about this. If you have an ESTA, the visa waiver program, you can still enter the United States with the same, as you always have been. So this is going to apply to individuals from countries that require a tourist visa. Okay, so Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, those countries, they're going to need to, the fans of those countries are going to need to get a visa, and this is going to help them schedule that visa appointment a lot quicker. The Department of State, regarding this FIFA Pass system, the Department of State has also said that they are going to hire, I believe, 500 staff members so that they can do these expedited visa processings as well. So that should help speed up this process, and we should see that going into effect fairly soon. What I've heard is that if you already have an appointment scheduled, okay, for your tourist visa, you have an appointment scheduled at the consulate and it's before May 31st, then you don't need to worry about that. Okay, you can go to that appointment and process your visa. If your appointment is scheduled after May 31st, then I believe you can use this system to, expedite your appointment so that you can get in there sooner, you can get your visa, and you still have time to make travel arrangements. So that's kind of a key date, is May 31st. So keep that in mind as well. Now, when you go to your visa appointment, whether you use FIFA Pass or otherwise, you're going to want to bring certain documents with you. Absolutely bring proof of ticket ownership, that you've purchased a ticket and it shows what date and what city you're traveling to for the game. Bring your documentation showing that you have enough funds to basically pay for this trip in terms of accommodations, food, flights, all of those types of things. And then also bring the documentation showing that the Department of State should believe you that this is a temporary visit and that you intend to go back home. Okay, so that can be, that you own real estate in your home country, that you have a job, a full-time job in that country, maybe that you have family in that country. If you're married with kids and your family's not coming with you, or just you and your spouse are coming, you're going to want to show that, look, I have family in my home country. Of course, I'm going back when the World Cup's over. So these are all things that you would want to bring to your appointment.